Okay, here we are back for the fifth and the final law from our book that we've been going over, The Go-Giver. And the fifth law is the most interesting of all. That when I got to this point in the book, I was just like, wow. So let me read this to you real quick. The fifth law is the law of receptivity. And once again, it's really simple, and here's what it says. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Now remember that the very first law was talking about giving, okay? And so let me read this again. The law of receptivity states, the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. And if you are anything like me, I know most of my life I have had real challenges with being open to receiving. I mean, I've always been this really giving kind of person, and this is in any situation. Doesn't matter whether it's with my family, with friends, with clients, you know, what have you. I've always been a really giving person, but I'll tell you, I have definitely not been open when it comes to receiving. And I will tell you also, is that this has hindered me so much in my life. And only recently have I really figured out how much it's hindered me, and we've also been taking steps to change that. So let me give you an example. Last year, I keep mentioning Joe Polish just because Joe and I have become such good friends over the years, and even though I sold my carpet cleaning business a long time ago, all the way back in '04, Joe and I have still maintained a really good relationship, and I'm in his high-end coaching group for entrepreneurs. And I've been in that group for 4 years now, and last year I had called Joe on his cell phone, and I got his voicemail, and I didn't leave him a message because I was thinking to myself, I don't want to bother the guy, and so I just hung up, and a couple minutes later he calls me back, and he's like, what'd you want, Kev? And I'm like, it's no big deal, you know, I'm getting ready to come down there to Phoenix in a couple days for your next mastermind meeting, and we could just talk then. And he's like, no. He's like, you must have wanted something, let's talk now. And I don't even remember what it was at this point that I wanted from him, but we discussed it, we took care of it. Then a couple days later, at his meeting down in Phoenix, you know, with myself and all the other members in the group, we get together 3 or 4 times a year at his office in Phoenix, and there was about, 25, 30 people in that room, all extremely successful entrepreneurs, most of them who have businesses much bigger than my own. And in the course of that meeting, Joe kind of really laid it on the line for me, because he was like, you know, Kev, I'm going to tell everybody about the conversation that you had and I had the other day. And he told the whole story about how I called him and didn't leave a message, and he called me back, and he's like, I want to see, by a show of hands, how many people, assuming that it was reasonable, if Kevin were to pick up the phone and call you and ask you for a favor, how many of you would turn him down? And everybody in the room was like, heck no, you know, Kevin's a great guy. We'd absolutely love to help him, and all we'd have to do was ask. And that was an eye-opening experience for me, because here were all these, I mean, yeah, I've been part of this group, like I said, for 4 years now, but I've never, ever felt compelled to ask anybody for a favor or for help or anything. And recently I did so, and I won't go into great detail right here because I'm already kind of getting into a, you know, don't want to get this video too long, but I will tell you that I recently asked one of the people in that group for a favor, and as a result of me picking up the phone and just asking for a simple favor, it equated to $187,000, and I don't know what the change was, in revenue for me. Now, am I saying that's going to necessarily happen to you, that kind of income? No, you got to be in a place to be able to receive that kind of an income. But the point is to ask for favors, ask for help. Be open to receiving, especially when you're following the other laws that we've been discussing here, and you're being so giving, you're being so authentic, you're being, you know, you're taking advantage of all of these other laws. You know, you're making use of them. If I can find my page here, you know, if you're creating value, if you're, you know, getting compensated for doing by sharing with others and giving value, you know, if you know, you're making use of all these laws, then be open to receiving as well. And just to I'm gonna give you a challenge. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow. I'm gonna be back with a challenge for you to see just how open you are to receiving. We'll see you then.